Welcome to another micro lecture. This is module 3. I'm Professor Fiske. Let's talk about C# conditional operators. So I'm going to get right into my code base because for conditional operators, we want to dig deep into a few things, right? And this is basically code based. And when I say conditional operators, I guess you can use the word logical. Logical operators does work, but for all intents and purposes, what we really want to do is we want to ensure that our operators are written in a way that we want them written. So let's go back to our if statements because operators are very important in our if statements, right? So at line 7, our if statement begins. If first number is not equal to 1 and or else equal to 2. Let's make this simpler than this or more specific. And let's say we'll call this one 1. If 2 else if, and what the heck, we'll put an else in there. We'll say this is console.writeLine, unknown, else. Perfect. Okay, great. So at line 5, our first number is being assigned the value of 2. At line 7, our if statement is evaluating if the first number equals 1. If it does, if it's true, it will write 1-if and then stop. It won't do any of these other ifs. However, or any of these other branches. However, if this if is false, it'll fall through to the next if branch, which is an else if. And an else if is an else if branch that evaluates a Boolean expression. It evaluates a Boolean condition. And then our last if branch is the else branch. And that basically catches everything else. Okay, great. So let's talk about some of the things that make sense, right? Let's talk about when we spoke in detail about the if statements, I did go over how to build your Boolean expressions, meaning what can you do in between the values you want to compare. I can do 2 equal signs. This equals equality. 1 equal sign equals assignment. 2 equal signs equals equality. This means if A equals B, is that true or false? We can say if A, first number, does not equal B, 1, right? Does not is the bang sign, and the equals means does not equal or is not. And then you have your other evaluators for specific data types like integers and numerical data types. Things like, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and so on and so forth. But for now, let's just keep it simple. Let's just do equals. Now, if I want to combine, right? Or let me take it a step further. Let's say I want to check something else, right? Maybe first number being 1 is not the only thing I want to check. Well, I can do what's called a nested if. And in this nested if, I can try something else. Right? So we have made a variable called second number. Now let's evaluate it. Okay. So what do we do here? Well, our first if statement is asking a question. Is first number equal to 1? Then our second if statement, or our nested if, will only fire if the first if statement, the parent if statement, is true. So let's test this for a second. First number equals 2, right? So what it should do is it should skip these if statements all together, and it should go to the next if branch. It should skip this if branch, this big one, which skips the if statement inside it. And this is a problem. This is a problem because you may need to evaluate them both at the same time, or you may need to evaluate them in inverse order. So it's very important that we try not to do this. But let's make it work for now, right? So this first if branch here will fail because first name does not equal 1. First number. First number equals 2. So we should get 2-if else if. Now understand, it's going to evaluate the first if branch first. So if first number equals 1, it's going to evaluate first. If that's false, it's going to fall through to the next if branch associated with it. The if branch inside it is detached from it. They do not care about each other, right? So if the if first number equals 1 is true, it'll ask the nested if what it wants. But if this nested if was a part of this if branch, then when first number is true, the second one wouldn't work. But you can see here, else if did fire. And notice the else did not fire, meaning else if was true. That means we don't have to run this. Skip on down the stack trace to whatever the next line is. Great. Well, this didn't work. Let's see if we can make it work. So first number equals 1, second number equals 3. Let's see if this fires. It should work. It should say 1-if. But there's a much easier, better, more readable way to do this. You don't have to do it this way. What you can do is you can combine both of these together. So there it worked. But you know what? This is redundant. We don't need this twice. What we actually need is for them to be evaluated in a way that makes sense to them. So there you go. If I want to evaluate both of these if statements simultaneously, meaning I need them both to be true at the same time, I can combine them into the same if Boolean expression. And what this literally means, if first number equals 1 and, all right, and second number equals 3, then write 1-if. This should work. That should work. Now, when this fires, you're going to see 1-if. It worked just fine. But let's do something interesting, right? When this is finished running, let's change one of the values, right? Let's change one of the values to something else. So I'm going to change second number to 4. What's going to happen? You can pause it now before it finished running. All right, well, if you pause it, you try to figure this out. I'm here to tell you what's going to happen is it's going to go to the else branch. It's going to fall through this first branch. That's going to be false. It's going to fall through this second branch. That's also going to be false. And so it's going to go to the else branch and it's going to print unknown-else. Now, why? Well, if you look at the first if Boolean expression set, first number does not equal, well, first number does equal 1, but second number doesn't equal 3. Please understand that if they both are true, then that's what the and operator is. When the and operator is in your Boolean expression, between your Boolean expressions as a Boolean condition, the and is telling the if statement that both of the expressions on both sides must be true. If one of those 2, 3, 4, 5, you can keep on going. You can keep on writing ands and ors all the way through. But if one of those, if it's an and operator, if the left or right or subsequent ones are false, then the entire if statement won't work. This is taking quite a while. So let's stop that. Let's try it again. Maybe it was a glitch in the matrix. But either way, this should print else, because even though first number equals 1, second number doesn't equal 3. And because of that, the if branch, the first if branch is going to fail. It's going to fall through to line 11, else if, which is first number equals 2. That's not true because first number equals 1. So it's going to fall through again to the else, which catches everything else. The else will throw else-else or unknown-else, because at this moment in time, that's what's true out of these Boolean expressions. Hopefully that makes sense. This is also taking quite some time to run and a little concerned. Let's close those and let's stop and let's run, see what happens. Yeesh. This is not good. Come on, REPL. Either way, so what that should do is print unknown-else. Looks like I'm not going to be able to show proof of concept, but that's totally fine. I want to get to the next piece, and the last piece I want to talk about, which is or. So there's and there's or. So with and, both of these need to be true, right? The first number equals 1 Boolean expression and the second number equals 3 Boolean expression. Both need to be true. However, if you change the Boolean operator or the conditional operator from ampersand to pipe, you will get the or. Now, what's interesting about that is when you change this to or update the code to or in any capacity, what it essentially is asking, and there's the unknown-else, geez, what it is asking the program to determine is if the left side or the first Boolean condition, is that true? Or is the second Boolean condition true? Only one of them need to be true, not both. So in an and, all the expressions need to be true. But in an or, only one expression needs to be true. So in this case, let's add, let's add 2 pipes. And just for all intents and purposes, to make a pipe, you do shift backslash. So this is backslash underneath your backspace. Shift backslash will create your pipes. So does first number equal 2, or does second number equal 4? What do you think is going to happen? I think REPL is going to freeze again, but that's not the point. What do I think is going to happen? Well, I think that the second if branch is going to fire. It's going to say true. Why? Well, let's go line by line. Line 8. First number, oh, nice. I challenged it. It said challenge accepted. So either way, this first one, first number equals 1 and second number equals 2 will not fire. It will be false. So it'll skip over this because even though the first Boolean expression is true, the second one is not, and therefore this whole entire if statement is false. It won't fire. However, else if first number equals 2 or second number equals 4, right? Let's look at this for a second. First number does not equal 2. Second number does equal 4, and this is asking one or the other, therefore it works. Now, just to give you more context, let's look at what these two things are actually creating. Like what is being returned? So console.writeLine. Okay, we're going to write a long console, so get ready. We're going to say this is going to be, and I'm going to do it on separate lines because this is going to be a long one. All right, cool. So this guy is first number. All right, we're doing the Boolean evaluations in the console.writeLine, so you can see what those evaluations come out to be. Boolean conditions are evaluated. Yeah, they are evaluating. They are being evaluated. That is true. All right, cool. Now let's write out the actual string. So first number, that. Perfect. So we wrote a console.writeLine, and we're going to overload it with a string.format syntax, which means we're going to say this is our string interpolation of the first value in the array or set that we're sending to the console.writeLine method. The console.writeLine method can take each of these values, each of these evaluated values, and produce an output on the other side. So I'm not going to belabor you with writing out the obvious, but here we go. I guess I could. I got nothing but time. Yeah, why not? They produced it, but I think it makes more sense to put these in line. Stop being lazy. Hold, please. All right. I did the needful. All right. It looks quite ugly on the left-hand side, and I probably get beat up by some of my some of my dev compadres, but in the end, it's easier just to dump it in there and move on. All right, so here we go. Yeah, I don't like the way that looks. 1 second. I forgot the Formatting is very important. Oh, my fingers are failing me. Sorry. I'm just getting this formatted so it makes more sense when we talk about it. So 1 second, I apologize. Being a perfectionist. Okay, there. Hopefully Repo replies very quickly and we can end this micro lecture. We're almost finished. So what I want to show you is the outcome of each of these Boolean expressions. What actually comes out of them? What does the program receive? Now that I want it to go fast, it's going to take its time. It's always Murphy's Law, right? Oh, there it is. Talk enough crap, they listen to you. So ignoring the first output of 2 else if, this is the outcome of our if branch, we're looking at our console.write line, right? So first number equals 1. Well, that's true because first number does equal 1 in the program. Second number equals 3. Well, that's false. It doesn't. And you can see how it's true, false all the way through. Notice how these are also true, false. But notice what the outcome is. First number equals 1 and second number equals 3. It's a hypothesis. Well, the hypothesis is false because second number does not equal 3, it equals 4. So if both of those expressions aren't true, the AND operator states that this entire expression is false. Whereas with the second one, because first number does not equal 2, but second number does equal 4, and we're using the OR logical operator, one or the other has to be true in order for the whole expression to be true. So in that case, the whole expression is true. And that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about with conditional operators and understanding logic operators. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to email me, comments, like in the chat, or like, subscribe, keep this channel going. Otherwise, as I say in all of my videos, good luck. Have fun.